Happy Halloween, Jet fans, and happy game day. New York Jets, Houston Texans. Yes, I'm Bandit from my child's TV show Bluey. Okay, we've got a day. Let's roll.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green, a.k.a. Bandit from the show Bluey. He's the father. Dad! Here we are on Halloween, and hopefully there's many tricks for the Jets and treats for the Jets, too. Hopefully there's a little bit of both happening here on today's program. We will have ESPN's DJ Bien-Aime. For those of you who only want to tune into that portion of the exam, I don't blame you. But that'll be coming up at 8 o'clock. So mark your calendars here. We're doing a Boy Green Daily Super Show. We're doing our normal Boy Green Daily today, as we do every morning at 7:30. Like the video, hit subscribe as you're on your way in. Plus, we're doing a Boy Green Meets Wudi at 8 o'clock with Wudi in a second, and ESPN's DJ Bien-Aime. And then after that, we're opening up the phone lines. What a crazy show. We have no time to waste. Let's get right to it. The James Wudi joins me on a Halloween. Whoa. Hey, what's going on, Wudi?
It's funny that you bring on tricks and treats because we've been tricked. We've been duped into believing that this team wouldn't be the complete bottom of the barrel. But here we are at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. And Wudi, what jersey are you wearing?
Oh, I mean, is this not the scariest player I could be? Prez, Jamal Adams, all right? The cringe king. Not much more left to say. With a black jersey, like the Jets.
Stealth black tonight. That's right.
Yes, exactly. Just a different design.
Hey.
Which is this design also pretty scary.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. I have a few of those in the closet. Hey, by the way, I haven't said any of this publicly yet, but Jamal Adams randomly followed me after a Jets game the other day. Followed me on Twitter. I was like, oh, Prez followed you? I'm like, that can't be. Oh, that is him. Okay, cool. And then he started posting a bunch of old Jet stuff where he was working out. He of his Jets workout gear. He also posted the Jets at their facilities have a wall with all their Curtis Martin team MVPs in history. Al Toon, Chad Pennington, all these names. Jamal Adams was actually a team MVP for the New York Jets back in 2018. He posted a picture of it on his Instagram story. And I was like, interesting. Does he want to come back? Does he want to come back with all these injuries? Is that what Jamal's doing, following me, doing all these things? So I ask you real quick before we get started with our game day preview, if Jamal Adams wanted to come back to this injury-riddled safety Jets team, would you take Jamal Adams back?
Hell no.
Oh, man. You can get some more use out of that jersey. I mean,
this is people would still roast me, I guess, for the design, right? Oh, you didn't get the new ones, but I think Jamal's usefulness in the NFL is past. We have enough linebackers, so I think we're good there.
Okay, well, just wanted to check. Just wanted to make sure I got that in. By the way, Brandon Badshaw says, what the F is on Paul's head? Again, that is Bandit. He's a blue Gila. That's a dog. It's an Australian cartoon my daughter watches, and we're all going to be Bluey, and Bluey's the name of the show, and we're all going to be members of it for Halloween tonight. So I'm wearing it to the radio station. Thought, why not on Boy Green Daily? Normally I'm wearing my Jets gear, like normal, but no, not in this particular case. But before we get started, we got a YouTube Super Chat membership shout out coming in, and every time we get one of those, we have to play my daughter Zariah Luna here on the program.
Wow.
Boba Jet, member for 2 months. We appreciate that. Once you go black, Playoff chances are back, baby. Okay, we're all in. We'll get to our predictions for Jets Texans coming up in just a little bit. So let's waste no more time. Also, actually, let me waste a little bit more time by simply saying we are 85 members away from Phil getting his emoji. So, guys, if you'd like to join the Boy Green Coffee Club, you could do so. That is the pinned comment right now on YouTube. It's also down in the YouTube description down below if you guys would like to join the Boy Green Coffee Club or help spread the love. With that being said, let's get right to it, Wudi. Every game day episode, you join us and give some Wudiology. You educate us. And there's some education certainly needed for this gosh darn team. So let's get to your Wudi 3, Week 9. We are kicking off officially with Thursday Night Football tonight. New York Jets, Houston Texans, and revenge game?
I mean, this one is clear. There are some times where, one of these Wudi headings have been written a very, very long time ago, and this is one of those, right? As soon as that game ended last year, and then it was announced that they're playing again this year, it was like, oh, all right, well, CJ Stroud, I mean, he is one of the best young QBs in football. His rookie season was fantastic.
Yeah, great.
Maybe
the best of all time. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Became the third player in NFL history to lead the league in touchdown to interception ratio and passing yards per game in the same season.
Wow.
The other two people to do that were not rookies. They were in the smack dab middle of their prime, Tom Brady and Joe Montana.
I've heard of those guys.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people have, 11 rings between them. Now CJ Stroud in his first season, comes in here, does that. But against the Jets, I mean, that average went down big time because he only had 91 yards. Right?
Yikes.
He had 43.5% completion.
Gross.
For his lowest QB rating of the year by far.
Blah.
By far.
That's scary. That's scary. That's spooky.
It
Wow.
was a terrible game. He got injured in that game. Salah's defense just had him looking, I don't even know, like CJ Beathard, what I'm saying? But he will be back. He's back right now, not having the same kind of success that he had his rookie year, but still having a good season. The Texans are 6-2, the exact opposite of the New York Jets. And Joe Mixon has been running wild, making things easier on CJ because he did not have that last year. Damian Pierce kind of disappeared. So, I mean, it's set up. It's set up for revenge. D'Amico Ryans was embarrassed, right? Everyone that was part of that game for the Texans are here today. But the Jets, right, Salah, Zach Wilson, who had his best game of his career, they're not exactly here. So I think it's barbecue chicken time. The revenge game is on for the Houston Texans.
I still can't believe the Texans got Joe Mixon for a 7th-round pick. Initially, he was going to get cut. Then they said, nah, we can trade him. And then they said, just kidding. We're not going to cut him. And then they sent him to the Texans for a 7th-round pick. And that's looking pretty good for the Houston Texans. There's no question about it. So, okay, revenge game. All right, I like it. All right, let's move on to Talk is Cheap with my boy Tay. The Tay train? What's going on here?
Well, I've literally never been on the train. I try to support, right? I'm not trying to be, just negative Nancy. I'm the realist, but that doesn't mean negative. But I didn't see him making the impact that they were saying he was going to make. I did not see him as the best receiver in football. Coming into this year, Jettas is clearly the best receiver in football. And then you got guys like CD, AJ Brown, guys that I
Devontae too is what you're saying.
Say that again?
So, okay, you said he's not the best. That's Jettas, a.k.a. Justin Jefferson. So you had Devontae number 2 is what you're saying.
Oh, no, because I just said, names of people that, are also better.
Number
CD,
3?
AJ Brown. He's not top 5. He's not my top 5.
Oh, wow.
But if you look at the numbers, he only has 1 touchdown this year. I won't remind you how many Allen Lazard has. Oh wait, I guess I do later. I didn't even realize that. I typed that later. All right, so he has
Awkward. Wow.
one game over 60 receiving yards this year.
Okay.
I did put in that my guy, Alan Lazard, who I've been trying to tell you guys thought he was the worst player to ever play football. Well, guess what? He has 5 times the touchdowns. All right. He has 2 games with 60 yards. And Alan Lazard has the 55th receiving grade in PFF or by PFF, right? The 55th best. You might be saying, all right, Wudi, why are you hyping up 55th best? Because Devontae's 100th. He is 100. He is literally in the triple digits, okay? Garrett, 28, Lazard, 55, and then Devontae Adams, number 100 in the NFL. Is this your king? All right, you guys talk about all this speech. Oh, my God, legendary speech. I seen Boy Green write this speech above Gettysburg. He literally said 7 years ago. Nah, whatever Devontae said was better. Well, I've seen absolutely no production from him, right? And you guys came at Garrett's neck. Saying, oh, I don't think he's elite. I think he is a mid, number 2 receiver. He can't even handle having number 1 corners on him. Like, Devontae Adams caliber receiver would be able to do this no problem. And now Devontae's here doing nothing. And you're like, well, Devontae, he's getting double teamed. What can he do? What can he do? It's crazy how you guys are hypocrites like that. And, like I said, being real. Talk is cheap. Can we see some on the field? Tonight, he goes against Derek Stingley Jr., who just like Sauce, he was picked right before Sauce. They had 2 really good first years, not really having a great third year. So this is his chance. Show me something, Devontae Adams.
Fair enough. Also, I'm sad to report, I'm going to work this in the middle of this, but Alan Lazard will not be available this evening, unfortunately. He is out, which, by the way, here's the final injury statuses of all the players out, and the Jets are missing several starters and some other players. So here they all are. Tony Adams, safety, hamstring, out. Ashton Davis, safety, concussion, out. Likey Fotu, defensive lineman, knee, out. Alan Lazard, wide receiver, chest, out. CJ Mosley, linebacker, neck, out. Elijah Tucker, offensive lineman, ankle, out. All of those players are out. Everyone else is questionable or beyond. And there you have it. So the Jets are going to be operating with less than, but so are the Houston Texans, which I believe we're going to get to here in just a few moments. But the other holiday that's coming up here, Wudi, just after Halloween is Thanksgiving, and my favorite thing to do is go up for seconds, thirds, and fourths to get some more of that tasty Thanksgiving delicious bites. But no room for seconds. What's going on here?
This one, I actually had a completely different header that I typed, and I was in the middle of doing, but then I discovered this fact. You know what we always say about the Wudi 3 is that you will learn something new. I learned something new while writing this, and I had to completely, change reverse course and cover this because the Ulbrich era, we have quickly transformed into one of the worst second half teams in the league. And Wudi, right? He, fired Saleh, wants to change the energy, is tired of not scoring in the first quarter, which granted, Saleh wasn't scoring in the first quarter. There were 3 games out of the 5 where he didn't score in the first quarter. Our point differential in those games was 0, right? Because we ended up coming back to either win the game or lose the game. The second half scoring, Saleh was coming back. He was outscoring opponents 52-39. In the Ulbrich era, we getting outscored 45-12.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. I mean, I know that number is kind of inflated by the Steelers game.
Oh yeah, they piled it on that late. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. We didn't even score a point. In the second half, yeah, it was bad. But still, was also outscored quite clearly in the Patriots game. The Bills game couldn't do nothing. So yeah, there doesn't seem like there is any room for seconds. They're averaging four points in the second half under the Ulbrich era. So
wow.
I guess that's one of the issues when you start a game all bricked up. You don't have the juice to keep going in the second half.
Yeah, I've heard a few complaints from my fiance in that department. Starting strong, but not quite finishing there in that department. We've all been there. Let's be honest. But with that being said, I also have to work in one more thing here because it's something I didn't mention in the injury report, but it's certainly worth noting. One of the things, some sort of a mystery that's lasted way longer than I think any of us thought, which again, it could be something else my fiance also said, but it's the kicking situation, because I think a lot of us thought it was a foregone conclusion after the Patriots game. Okay, Greg Zuerlein, this guy's out of here. He sucks. He's missed 6 field goals. That leads the league in that department. And on top of the missed field goals, missing an extra point that completely changed the Patriots game, like all these reasons. Okay, this dude's clearly out. Right? And then all of Ulbricht's comments kept saying, oh, maybe he's not. Oh, okay. They're having a kicking competition. Oh, wait, it's a multi-day kicking competition? Oh, wait a second. They signed 2 kickers to the practice squad, but Greg Zuerlein's still here? What the hell is going on? Well, Greg Zuerlein popped up with injury. Okay, to his. So here's the thing that doesn't make any damn sense. Okay, so Jeff Ulbrich earlier this week gives an injury report. Oh, here's all the guys, and you just heard that list. It had a lot of dudes on it. Okay, and then all of a sudden he didn't mention any injury for Greg Zuerlein. All of a sudden, mysteriously, an hour or two later after his pressure, geez, I must have forgot to mention Greg Zuerlein hurt his non-kicking leg. Oh, I'm sure that's why he's been missing. Obviously, we're kind of like, oh, that's sort of bizarre. So Greg Zuerlein was not released by the Jets. Instead, the Jets go, geez, he just got hurt. You know what? We're going to put him on IR, take him out of the spotlight, still on the team, put him behind the wall for like four. Let me make sure it's clear so people may not understand this. It is 4 games, not 4 weeks, because the Jets have a bye week in the next 4 weeks. So Greg Zuerlein is out through at least the Seattle Seahawks game. So that's the game after the bye. So it's when you get placed on IR, it's not by weeks, it's by games. So it's 4 games across 5 weeks. So the earliest he could come back that would be week 11, week 12, week 13, week 14, which would be the Dolphins road trip. That's the earliest he could come back. So the Jets basically are trying to work him back to health behind the scenes, and they're going to try to unveil him later. That'll be a wonderful, spooky surprise in December. Oh, shit, Greg Zuerlein's still here. He's back. But, so the Jets signed 2 kickers, because why not? Throw a sense of mystery, I guess, for Houston on which one you're going to elevate for the game tonight. But, Riley Patterson and Spencer Schrader. Both are 25 years of age, but both are incredibly different. Riley Patterson's been bouncing around the league. He entered back in 2021. He has an 88% conversion rate, so his field goal percentage is terrific, quite frankly. I don't know why he's been bouncing around so much. Spencer Schrader has never kicked a field goal in the NFL. So that seems like an odd choice to add to the team. He's an undrafted free agent from this past draft that happened in April. He was with the Colts all summer. He was a practice squad elevation for week 1, kicked 3 extra points. He nailed all those, so that's progress over Greg Zuerlein. That's for sure. But one of those 2 will be the kicker tonight, and blessed be he. I hope it's Riley Patterson, because he actually has some chutzpah. Not so much can be said for Spencer Schrader, but we will have a new kicker tonight. Obviously, with Zuerlein on IR, he is ineligible, to play this evening, but we will have a new kicker. But I think if I'm going to be blunt real quick, Woody, I think it's chicken shit that the Jets did not. Accountability. If a guy stinks, you kick him off the team. Screw money. Our father, Woody, he had a great point a week or 2 ago, and I didn't think about it like this. I'm like, well, $4.1 million guarantee for Greg Zuerlein. He's like, Russell Wilson had some guarantees to the Broncos, said, F you, buddy. We're going to eat the guarantee money. Get out. Like the Jets, and no spoiler alert here, the money owed to him is a lot less than the money that was owed to Russell, and they didn't think twice. They dumped his ass. So sometimes it's not about the money. It's the Joker line. It's not about the money. It's about the principle. It's the principal. The principal is, get this dude out of here. Freaking
Was
son.
Batman saying that?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a terrible Joker voice. I'm not sure why I did that. You know, I mean, I was in the Halloween mood. I said, oh, maybe I could just whip this out in the, Bandit Bluey costume. It didn't work. But
you hit the line, though.
Yeah.
The line was accurate, though. That is
thank you. God bless. Well,
Yes.
I'm glad that was there. But yeah, so I thought it was really a chicken crap way to do it. But anywho, long story short, the most important thing is he's not kicking on Thursday night, which seemed like a possibility earlier this week, which scared the crap out of me. Like, how could you do this? But he won't be. So anywho, just want to get that off because people were asking about Zerline. I just want to make sure that was clear because I didn't mention him on the injury report. But yeah, he's on IR.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously it's embarrassing, just more dysfunction, more reason to lose faith in the organization. I mean, how do you do this and keep your job? It's crazy. So
yeah. So, anywho, well, let's do this because we will have DJ Bien-Aime of ESPN joining us in a few minutes. And in case you're just joining us now, we have nearly 300 people in the room. We appreciate it. Like the video, hit subscribe. We're doing a super Boy Green Daily today, the normal Boy Green Daily you're seeing right now. And then in about 10 minutes or so, ESPN's DJ Bien-Aime will join us for Boy Green Meets Wudi in the middle of Boy Green Daily. And then we'll open up the phone lines after DJ leaves us and answer some of your questions for Jets Texans tonight. But before we get to DJ, we need to get to our own predictions for this contest, Wudi. And there's been a lot of hoopla thrown around on this that if the Jets win, they, in their own building, might believe they can make a run here at 3-6 and see if they could turn their season around. If they lose, and the NFL trade deadline is on Tuesday, maybe they're going to have, as Nick Ferria described it on our show, a soft sell where you're like, this isn't going to happen. Let's not sell off Garrett Wilson's, Breece Halls, and Sauce Gardner's, but let's sell off rental players like Mike Williams and players of that nature that could be not long for this team. So there is a little bit of extra juice for tonight because of that reason and the direction of this franchise for the immediate future. So what is your prediction, pal?
It's so funny to me, but I don't want to go there. Actually, I don't want to crush the hopes and dreams of the franchise. Yes, maybe this is the win to turn everything around.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe. Santa, he still exists. So this game, I do think that the Jets could win. I think it was Quincy Enunwa, tremendous player. Turned into a great analyst now that brought up the fact that the Jets were in the midst of a 5-game losing streak and faced the Texans last year and proceeded to dominate them the way that they were dominated. It is same old Jets. If you win a game like this where, the fan base, all hope is lost, everything is down, and then all of a sudden, you face a 6-2 team and boom, beat the bricks off them. See, I'm telling you, I told you the Jets were, oh my God, now we about to, all that type of stuff. That actually seems very likely to me. But I am a betting man, and I am betting the farm on Texans money line, baby. I'm telling you, they about to do some work. Joe Mixon. I've never been more sure about something than Joe Mixon, who has only not ran for 100 yards once this season so far. He is running for 100 yards through this Swiss cheese Jets run defense. I'm telling you, 100 yards, multiple TDs, right? Could be 2 rushing or a rushing and a receiving, multiple TDs off the back of Joe Mixon, 31-21. That's being generous because the Jets can't score in the second half. 31-21. Houston Texans, book it. Give me that money line.
By the way, for those curious, the Jets opened as a 3-point favorite against the Houston Texans earlier this week. They are a 2-point favorite right now, according to Vegas Insider. So that is the lines I use at the radio station. They're a 2-point favorite tonight against the Houston Texans. The 2-6 Jets, 2-point favorite tonight against the 6-2 Houston Texans. I will tell you this, Wudi. If you would have asked me for this prediction a few days ago, I might have provided a very ugly answer because I was all on my feels. I was like, this season's over, blow it up, this, that, or the other. It's all over. But Wudi, Have you had breakfast this morning yet?
No, actually.
Well, I did. And I'll tell you what I had. I'll give you the exclusive, the scoop. And the scoop is this. I had a glass of water with a scoop of cayenne pepper, baby. I had the same juice that Aaron Rodgers had to turn this puppy around. He's feeling good. He's feeling all in the feels. And so am I about the New York Jets. This is the start of the turnaround, baby. The New York Jets are a favorite tonight, and they should be a favorite because they are about to open up a can of whoop ass on the Houston Texans, baby. I'm back, and so are the Jets. The New York Jets are winning tonight. Halloween, spooky festivity, stealth black because it's a Texan funeral, baby. The Jets are going to win this gosh darn ball game 26-19 over the Houston Texans, and the Jets improve to 3-6 and start the march to an improbable, unlikely path to the playoffs.
Wow. That is funny. 26-19, such an odd score, but
thank you. They can do this thing, I believe. I lost a little belief
are they
earlier
both
this
missing
week.
field goals? Are both teams missing not field goals, extra points?
There could be some safeties involved. Who knows? We got a brand new kicker that obviously is going to be terrific. And Chocolate Kane 910. Sorry, we're getting a lot of comments here. Chocolate Kane 910. Who's kicking for the Jets tonight? It will be one of their practice squad elevations, which we won't know officially until later this evening. That will be either Riley Patterson or Spencer Schrader. If they elevate Spencer Schrader, I might spit out my. Why is he even on the team? He's never kicked a field goal in an NFL game, which again, there's a sense of mystery. Ooh, maybe he can, maybe he can't. Well, I'd rather go the guy that we're pretty sure he can. Riley Patterson, again, 88% conversion rate, baby. So yeah. We're going to turn the. So we'll learn later today. Earlier today, it doesn't make any sense. We'll learn later today about the results of that kicker, but it should be, my guess would be Patterson gets activated a little bit.
Well, by that
today.
logic,
yeah,
they would just go with Greg the Leg. Like Greg the Leg has been kicking longer than both of them, right? Like I would actually strongly disagree that because Schrader has never done it, he can't do it.
Well, I'm not saying he can't do it. But I'm just saying we've seen the other guy do it and successfully. Why would we go to mystery door number 2 for no reason? That just seems odd.
Well, that's true. I cannot trust if we had a good coach in the coach that Schrader, I'll be like, all right, yeah, cool. He must have seen something from Schrader. But what they're doing right now, maybe they do Schrader so that Schrader does shank it, and then like, hey, see, Greg is better than that. Let's bring back Greg. That just seems like the wave that they're on right now. It's bad. It's bad. It stinks in that building.
Well, I'm just telling you, Wudi, that again, the Jets are turning this thing around. I'm glad that I saw the light, and I came back from the light to share with all of you the vision, the sight. See, look, Alan is saying, still thinking 31-13 tonight. He believes the Jets are going to blow out the Houston Texans. Beautiful. Unbelievable. I love that prediction. He said it right there. There you go. That's obviously what he was saying. So love it from Alan. He didn't put the teams on there, but I can do it for him. He thinks the Jets blow out the Houston Texans tonight. And I love Alan. He's our most optimistic Jets fan we have. No.
Oh my! I don't know if any of the last 5 things you said are true.
Okay.
Seems like the exact opposite of them are true. But yes, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I saw Easy said that he put a little bit on the Texans. I mean, Easy, we're gonna be counting. We're gonna be counting our money. Yeah, that money. Yeah. Because it's just Texans money line. For them to be underdogs, that should be a crime. Actually, I don't know what Vegas is doing there.
Well, they just know. They know what's happening. They know what's happening, and I know what's happening. We got 300 people.
We were just 7-point favorites against the Patriots. Did they? What did they know then?
Sometimes there's mess ups in Vegas when you're counting up things and you get a number messed up here, there, or the other. So, but it's fine. It's fine. We're turning it around.
Oh, so I misspoke with Easy. Easy He did not put nothing on the Texans. He told me to put a whole bunch.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I
So
see.
I apologize.
1,000?
I apologize easy
Wow.
from one North Carolina Jet fan to
Right.
another.
North Carolinian, as I believe you guys are referenced.
Yes. I apologize, but yeah, maybe I should, because I'll definitely. I mean, that'll be something nice. Something
All right.
nice.
Well, why don't I do this? I'm going to play the Hep song, and by the time we get back, we're going to be flipping the switch. Woody, unless you have any final thoughts you'd like to share here before we jump over to basically Boy Green Meets Woody. We're combining our shows. Normally, you guys can hear Boy Green Meets Woody every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock, but because of our guest, we're flipping things around and making some adjustments, some audibles at the line of scrimmage, just like Aaron Rodgers will be doing this evening. Can. Yeah, woof, 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 which works out for me. I got the ears already. Woof, woof. Here we go. Woof. We'll see what that audible means. But we're doing both shows super joined together. But again, any final thoughts before we transition here to Boy Green Meets Woody?
No. I'm just sorry for being real.
No, you don't have to apologize. But can you do me a favor, Woody?
What's up?
I need you to sing this song because we're about to have a Super Bowl season with Boy Green.
Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. We're talking just football, man. Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. We're talking Jets football, man. Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily, Boy Green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets.
Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Which means, I guess, Woody, we might as well, for old time's sake.
Help us get a jet chant here. Come on in. Let's go. Okay.
Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Woody, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there, baby.
Boy Green. It's Wudi.
Don't adjust your sets. Well, I don't even know why I said that, because I don't think you're watching on TV, but don't adjust nothing, okay? Because I know we were in Boy Green Daily. Now it's Boy Green Meets Woody. It's the same channel, same awesome Jets content. And we got somebody for you that will just raise everything to the next level. As a matter of fact, I won't lie to you. It's like 3 levels. There are levels to this, and this individual is on the highest of the high. Let me tell you something. We're talking Jets, Texans, right? Third Party Thursday, we always bring in somebody, right, to talk about that game that's coming up. If I could choose any person on the planet,
Wow.
all right, who is qualified to talk about the Texans, somebody who has covered the New York Jets, somebody who is highly respected, well-known, okay, a great talker who knows the game. This person, I don't even know how many people would be on the list, but I know that this person's at the top, all right? First name I write, drop the pen. Can he do the show? The answer is yes. So please allow me to introduce the one, the only DJ Bien-Aime. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? That was an intro. That was Hey, Paul. He might have outdone you. You could do some intros, but he might have outdone you when it comes to an intro.
Okay, well, let me see if I can outdo an offer. So, DJ, you're going to be there tonight, MetLife Stadium, Jets Texans. I want to present you a trade offer. Okay, I know the Texans are 6-2, but the
Mhm.
2-6 Jets, we could use you, buddy. I'd like to offer you a trade. You can come back. You can
I'm
come back to
good.
cover the Jets.
I'm good. I'm
I
good.
forgive you for
I'm good.
leaving initially.
I'm
I know
good.
you did it for the money and the fame and the glory and the autographs and the baby kissing and everything you've been doing. But come on, you can come on home. Come on down. Come on.
I'm good, man. I am good. That's a dumpster fire over there. I'm not like I'm cool.
Okay, well, I thought I'd offer it at least. But happy Halloween, DJ, and thanks for joining us on the show. It's always great to have you back here in Jets Land. But tell us right off the top, getting to be the mothership, the 4 letters. Every time I turn on Sports Center, I'm like, hey, mama, I know that guy. DJ Bien-Aime, I know that guy. When he's on there doing a Sports Center hit, I'm like, that's my guy, DJ Bien-Aime, baby. So how's it been covering the Houston Texans with those 4 letters, baby? ESPN.
Nah, it's been good. I was at Bristol yesterday. I was at actually like the mothership for real yesterday.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool. Meeting people, seeing like the cafeteria, seeing it's like an actual college campus. I'm not gonna lie, like, it reminded me a lot of like when I was at Louisville or something like that. Like it's an actual campus. So working for ESPN has been pretty cool. Um, Covering the Texans has been pretty cool. I just wish that like more people cared about the Texans. I think that's the biggest adjustment was like, the Jets, like people care about the Jets. People want to have an opinion on the Jets. Texans is more like, is CJ good? Yeah, CJ good. All right, what's next? You know what I'm saying? So
and that makes sense. That's right. Woody, go ahead, get us started, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was following the Texans for a little bit because I'm from New York, but I actually was going to move to Houston, so I was like,
you
oh,
should have.
for the local squad, and I seen them, and correct me if I'm wrong, I seen them take a Kyle Shanahan DC, right? They bring in the Kyle Shanahan offense, they draft a QB second overall. And I'm like, I think I've seen this one before.
Right,
And for
right.
the Jets, it didn't really work out. But the Texans are cooking right now. Based on what you've seen, what you know, how did they take the play? How they steal our whole flow bar for bar and do it way better than the Jets ever did?
They hit on CJ. I think it's simple as that. Like
Mm.
CJ is phenomenal. So when you hit on the quarterback, it changes everything. I think Salah would still be there if Zach was good. I think it's simple as that. If Zach was what people thought he could be, I think that everything is different for the Jets. You guys obviously never end up with Aaron Rodgers. If Zach is good, I think if Zach is good, Salah's probably still the head coach. Salah probably gets an extension because ironically the two years when the defense was at its best, and they won 7 games, this when Zach was like really, really struggling. So imagine if Zach was even like average, they probably win like 10 games. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that they hit on the quarterback. When you hit on the quarterback, it changes everything. And I know it's pretty simplistic. They hit on the quarterback and they hit on some other players. And D'Amico is really good at situational football, like really, really good. Like I think they've won up until the Packers game, they won 7 straight one possession games. So yeah, like they're like it's not necessarily a fluke. And that's because a lot of one possession games are pretty like fluky ish. But his team is built for situational football, and they hit on the quarterback. When you hit on those two things, you're gonna win a lot of games.
Speaking of flukes, last year the Jets blew the barn doors off the Houston Texans. They won 30-6, and I'm like, what in God's green earth just happened? Zach Wilson looked like C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud looked like Zach Wilson. I'm like,
Right.
what? I'm like, what the hell's going on? But it was a weird. There was rain. There was all kinds of weird elements that were happening there. Was that a fluke? Or did the Jets, because sometimes this Jets defense, especially in that Salah era, had the number of certain Josh Allen. The Jets had been the Josh Allen's kryptonite in the NFL. Is that what you believe it was against the Texans, or a random fluke game that because the rest of C.J. Stroud's rookie year looked pretty good?
Yeah, I was a fluke mainly because no Nico Collins, no Tank Dell in that game. Bad weather. So I say that was more of a fluke. in that aspect. But I do think that the Jets match up well against the Texans because they're kind of like ironically mirror images of each other to an extent. Obviously, the Texans are a younger version, but I would say like they mirror each other at a lot of spots. It's just how they want to be built because again, Salah, D'Amico, they view football very similarly. So I would also say in that game, they that was one of those games where they out executed the Texans because they both know what they're trying to do. So it's who can beat each other to the punch first. And I think that I don't know if it'll be a blowout today, obviously, but I do think that if the Texans let the Jets hang around, the Jets can probably steal this one.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Well, you said there was no Nico, no Tank that game. This time around, there's no Nico, no Diggs.
Right.
This game. So with that, I'm not gonna lie. Playing fantasy football, Baker lost his two wide receivers last week, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna play him. Still threw 300 yards, 3 TDs. CJ Stroud, are we heading toward a similar performance? You think where he would still be able to, find Tank Dell, who's playing, who wasn't there last time?
Yeah. So I think that the defense that the Baker went against, the Ravens defense just isn't good. I think they're giving up over 25 points in the majority of their games. Um, Yeah, actually, yeah, they have 25 or more in the majority of their games. Chiefs, um, Cowboys, obviously not Packers, the Bucks. The list actually goes on and on. Like a lot of teams, the Raiders have put up over 25 points. So Browns, like the list really actually goes on. The Jets, obviously since they got rid of Salah, the defense is kind of fallen off. But I also think that um it's going to be a little difficult for them because Nico was so important, and it's so clear how much better Nico was than every other receiver and how vital he was to the offense. Like you had the list of like the most important players of the offense: CJ, Laramie, then Nico. So when you lose Nico, like it kind of like stalled the offense out a little bit. But I think they can run the ball and not have to rely on CJ as much. They'll be able to put up points, but if they can't run the ball, they can get nasty.
All right, let me go to this because DJ, I'm sure you loved being in the middle of those debates between Jets and Texans fans on Derek Stingley and Sauce Gardner, and they were tearing each other down. Jet fans were like, "Man, Stingley sucks," and then they're going back and forth and all this hoopla. And now, oh, how the turntables have turned. Sauce is people calling him soft, and the tackling has been questionable, and the physicality really hasn't been there. I'm curious. With you covering the Texans, what has year 3 been like for Stingley? Because Sauce has like fallen off a cliff from a lot of the things he had been doing in his first 2 years, which again, he set the bar pretty high. First team All-Pro corner. No one had ever done that in the modern era of 1970 and forward since Sauce did it. So the bar was set pretty high heading into year 3. He has not lived up to it. Has Stingley lived up to the hype in year 3?
Yeah, for sure. He has. I mean, depending on where you set the hype at. I mean, I had him at, potential defensive player of the year candidate. Obviously, not gonna be that, but
Okay.
he's up to the hype. Like he's been like that pure number one corner because like teams don't really throw at him as much, especially down. Well, they'll throw at him down the field a little bit, but like if they're throwing at him, it's usually underneath stuff. He had a game against the Bears where he kind of erased DJ Moore and caught an interception while guarding him, so that was pretty cool. He's played at a Pro Bowl level. I think he'll make a Pro Bowl this year. Um, it's just kind of funny how sometimes you gotta let the things play out instead of trying to come up with a definitive answer. Because people were like, "Oh my God, the Texans made a big mistake. They took Sauce over Stingley. They took Sting over Sauce. Blah blah blah." Now year 3, it's like, oh, okay, well, Stingley is just as good as Sauce. Okay, well, and again, sometimes you guys just let things play out. And again, if it's not the quarterback position, like if both guys are like in the same stratosphere, then like it's a win if they both can play.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, before we go back to you, Woody, we have a fan comment. I'm not really sure if there's a question in here, but there's a comment here. And every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
DJ, backwards aren't cool. Send in the super chat. Appreciate the $9.99, baby. Wasn't a fluke. Texans really suck. Who are they? 3-7 all time against our beloved Jets. What's your reaction to that, DJ? Of Texans all time record versus the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That has nothing to do with today.
Mhm. Well,
I would say that they match up well though.
yeah.
I mean, I think the Jets are gonna win.
Wow.
Ironically, yeah, I think the
Okay.
Jets are gonna win. Short week, injuries are piling up. Like they're gonna be without their starting safety, linebacker, two receivers. Actually, starting safety. Both, yeah, I think possibly both linebackers. Obviously safety, both receivers. Like, I think it's a lot of injuries to overcome. They're starting D tackle. Like, it's just a lot of injuries to overcome. But I do know if they jump out on the Jets, then the Jets will probably lay over. So,
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
So that's the only thing, right? If they score 14 first quarter, then the game's over.
And then one quickie here, just because a lot of us have been kind of befuddled by it. So the Jets opened as a 3-point favorite at home against the Texans. For context, people, Jets 2-6, Texans 6-2, and the line's only shifted a little bit according to Vegas Insider. Now it's gone from the Jets being a 3-point favorite to a 2-point favorite at home tonight, Halloween, and all that hoopla. Did that surprise you as much as it has other people?
Nah, because the Texans haven't played like good, like they don't play great football. They only have one win that's over 6 points. Like week one, 2 points. Week two, 6 points. In that game, that game against the Bears should have been a blowout because they scored 16 in the first half. I think it was like 16-3 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they scored 3 more points the rest of the game. And they let the Bears hang around. Then week three, they get blown out. Then week four, they barely beat the Jags, who at that point were winless. They beat them by 4 points. It took a game-winning drive to beat them. Then the next week, obviously they beat the Bills, but they're up 23 on the Bills. The Bills march back, tie it up. So then week six, I'm blanking who they played in week six. Um, but like throughout the entire season, it's always they play the Patriots, I believe, and they throttled the Patriots, but like that's the Patriots, right? Like I mean, I'm sorry, I know the Jets didn't beat them, but um, at that point, a lot of people thought it was the Patriots, and it was Drake May first start. Da da da. Then the next week, they lose to the Packers,
Correct.
where they
Right.
can't rescore, and then last week,
The Colts. Yeah.
yeah, the Colts, like that's a game where they should have Anthony Richardson could have hit the side of the barn standing in the hay, and that game was still close. So the Texans, while their record is 6-2, their point differential isn't that good. They're more of a team that kind of relies on CJ Stroud to bail them out and the defense to bail them out in like situations where they let teams hang around. So I think that it doesn't surprise me at all. Because again, like the Jags game was close. The Bears game and Kenny Williams' second start was close. Both Colts games with Anthony Richardson. I think in both games combined, Anthony Richardson completed 19 passes and they won by a total of 5 points. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Ah, I
think
see.
he completed 19 passes. I mean, I don't even want to do the math on actually and like 52 attempts, 19 for 52.
Ugh.
It's like two interceptions,
Oh
maybe two
God.
passing touchdowns, a bunch of sacks, and they only won by 5 points in those games. So, and it doesn't surprise me at all.
Go ahead, Woody.
I wanted to go back to a point that you said about the Texans and people just being like, oh, CJ good, right? They got other players down there. And one
Yeah,
of them that I want to highlight is Will Anderson Jr., right? I
right.
know we talked Stingley, but Will Anderson Jr. currently tied for third in the NFL in sacks, 7.5 sacks, which is already more than the 7 sacks that he had in a solid season last year. Is this a year that he becomes a household name? Do you think? I feel like this is somebody who was considered a consensus, all pro type player, and now it seems like he's having his coming out party. And tonight he should be matching up against old man Tyron Smith. So I don't know. Is it a barbecue chicken alert for Will Anderson Jr. and Tyron Smith?
I think he can get a sack, but household name. He's a Houston Texan, man. I'm sorry, they don't become household names. I'm sorry, man. CJ's a household name. That's about it. Like it's funny,
Mm.
like they just don't get the pub that people care a lot about. I mean, Stephon got that because he's Stephon. He played in a bunch of spots and been one of the best receivers in the league. So maybe Nico-ish, but yeah, nah. Household name, nah. But I think he could have a good game today and continue to build on his resume towards being all pro in year 2, which would only vindicate what the Texans did by giving him all those picks to go get him.
What do they have to do to be not even Will Anderson, just the team in general? What, win the Super Bowl? Is that the only way that
Yeah, I
they
think
will
they gotta make
command
deep
the
play.
respect?
They gotta make like really, really deep playoff runs, or CJ has to be like MVP type
Mhm.
of guy. I think that's the only way because they're in a market that like Houston Texans fans don't even care that much about the team. Honestly, like it's like I'm telling you, it was such a stark contrast from covering the Jets and their fan base to covering the Texans and their fan base. The Texan fan base is more like, y'all good? Oh, y'all good? All right. I'll come. I might slide, but I'll be there at 12:05 when the game starts. Um, Jet fans are like like the stadium is full by like, you know, 12:45 Eastern. You feel me? So,
Yeah. So you
but
miss Jet fans, is what you're saying?
no, I won't say that. But what I would say is Jet fans are way more passionate, and people care more about the team nationally. Well, the Texans is more like they probably have to make going a deep, deep, deep playoff run, and then maybe I think people will start like really giving a you know what about this team. You know,
Is this
beyond
team
like
capable of that, DJ? Is this
right
team
now, right now, no, because CJ
all right?
is the fifth most pressured quarterback
Mm,
overall. Quarterbacks that have over 100 snaps, and some of those guys in the top 5 aren't even starters anymore. He's been
mm,
pressured on 40.7% of his drawbacks. So yeah, no, until they get that right, they're not a Super Bowl team.
Okay, go ahead, Woody.
mm. Well, I'm gonna bring up another name that I guess people don't know about because they're not talking about the team. But as you know, you might have heard the Jets fired their coach, right? It doesn't look like Jeff Ulbrich is going to be the head coach next year. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like that. And one person that I mentioned, I highlighted on our last show, was the
No,
OC. Oh, talk to me,
no,
Already
sir.
declining.
no,
Wow. Okay.
no, no. Bobby's cool, but y'all could probably do better.
Really, what is he not like a leader?
It's not
What's
that. I think it's I don't think he's ready to be a head coach. I think, he's called plays for 2 years. And he's been solid at it. Obviously he's had his moments. The offense this year is worse than it was last year. And I think that's very alarming. That you got more weapons and the offense got worse. So I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, go hire him. Right. Like I would say let him continue to grow and probably like look elsewhere. Because I think right now, like they're not even like their offense hasn't reached the expectation people had. Like they've only scored over 30 once, which is kind of surprising. Granted, I think Nico, uh, Stephon Tank, Joe Mixon, Dalton, they've all played. I want to say first game, second game, and maybe the fifth game all together. No, no. No, they've only played 2 games all together, but even then, like the offense just been kind of choppy. So granted, injuries have happened, but you still got a lot of weapons, and the offense has been just average. I put a lot on the coaching, and players got to play better on the offensive line. But yeah, I wouldn't. Just because a guy can design fancy plays, don't mean he can be a head coach.
Okay. Who is more likely to be in Jets land in 2025? Bobby Slowick or DJ Bien-Aime?
Bobby Sloak.
Oh damn! Oh damn! Okay, Bobby Slowick, come on down. Alrighty. Oh my. Okay. Okay. Here we go. There we go. That's okay. I wasn't interested in Bobby anyway. So yeah, y'all can keep him. Y'all can keep him. I think you're right. I think we can do better. I think we'll be looking in some different pools, which I think will
I
be
mean,
a lot of fun.
y'all probably gotta like tear it all down anyway. So
Yeah, that might be true. It might be true. That might be the waters they're swimming in. Now, I'm curious on the Joe Mixon thing, who's had a lot of success. I mean, the Bengals like, all right, we're going to cut his ass, and they're like, whoa, 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 actually, we're going to trade him. And then they trade him to the Texans for like a 7th-round pick. You guys immediately give him a big deal. And wow, he has cashed in. He has been, it seems like, the straw that stirs the drink on offense. To be able to lean on that ground game all year has given this Texans team a lot of balance. He already has over 500 yards rushing on the year. He's got the touchdown. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. It just seems like he's doing a lot. Have you been surprised by Joe Mixon's success in Houston?
I've been very, very surprised, mainly because I didn't think that, you know, I thought the Bengals come for a reason, and it made sense, right? Because running backs get older and get all, off before it's too late. Man, he's been the best Texan offseason acquisition the entire season. Because ironically, like all the moves that they've made, the slot in the offense that they're replacing, or the defense that they're replacing, I would say that the guy they had last year was just as good, if not or better, right? So like it hasn't really necessarily moved the needle. Like Diggs this year wasn't necessarily better than Tank last year, right? Or Daniil hasn't been better than Jonathan Gennard. Or Aziz has been just as good as Blake Cashman. Maybe Aziz been a little bit better, but it hasn't been like that drastic of an upgrade, right? Joe Mixon over Devin Singletary has been like, and I like Devin Singletary a lot. It's been like going from eating like, um, you know, steak from the grocery store to going to like a 5-star restaurant. I'm not gonna lie, and I like Singletary a lot, but Joe Mixon is like the guy that can. If the passing the offense stinks for like 5 minutes or like for like 5 possessions straight, Joe Mixon can literally like carry the offense, and he did that last week. He did that in Green Bay. He did that against the Colts in week 1. Like he can legitimately carry an offense. He's third in the NFL in rushing yards per game right now at 100.6. So yeah, you got to think about one of the games he left with an ankle injury where he failed like 25 yards, something like that. So if you take that game out, like in the 4 games where he started and finished, like he's averaging well over, I think, 110 yards per game.
Yeah, he's been killing it, and so have you, DJ Bien-Aime, for goodness sake. So thanks for getting up early with us. I hope you enjoy, and good luck, and enjoy all the festivities of covering the game tonight. Jets Texans being back in MetLife Stadium, enjoying all that. Apparently, you're not coming back full time. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. But take a few pictures. That'll last longer, I guess. They're in MetLife Stadium tonight. Thanks for taking the time, brother.
No problem, brother. Always glad to be on with you.
Okay, Wudi, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. No, appreciate you coming on. Great meeting you. And hey, thank you, because I've been saying Joe Mixon, take his over tonight. Take the rushing over.
I would take his over also.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what I'm saying. That's what you guys hate on me in the comments. But DJ Bien-Aime has agreed, stamp of approval. Take Joe Mixon's over.
All right, DJ. Thanks, brother. We'll see you.
No problem.
There he is, DJ Bien-Aime, baby. Glad we're able to do this. So again, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green meets Wudi. We've combined all of this, and Wudi, without further ado, we'll play another quick video package here, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. You guys can call in. It is a game day episode, but we're mixing and mashing everything. This will be the only time we're live probably tonight, because by the time the game's over and we hop on for the post-game show super late this evening, it'll probably be early morning in the 1 a.m.-ish range. So we will see you for that 2 hours after the final whistle. But we'll take some of your phone calls right now if you have questions or comments on anything DJ Bien-Aime just said, anything on Jets Texans, some of these Jets injury report, the Greg Zuerlein situation, any of that hoopla is welcome. So we'll play a quick Hep concert, and we'll be right back with your phone calls. I think we're about to have another legendary call here. I wasn't even aware that this caller I'm about to bring on had talents that expanded to this level. Hep joins us on the show with the guitar. Hep?
Hey, fellas. Okay. Boy Green Daily. We're talking Jets. We are the best. Forget the rest. We're up to date. We're going there. Super Bowl's coming, so all beware. Yeah.
Wow. Good Hep. Unbelievable. Whoa. Hep, I didn't even know you could play guitar in a song. That's historic. We're cutting that up. That's going out on social media. There's no doubt about it. Well, that's going on YouTube. Oh my goodness, Hep! Wow, you're a talented man, even more than we all thought. There you go. There's Hep, baby. A very, very talented man. And I'd like to do this to celebrate this historic show, Wudi, which has been awesome. I would like to do this right now. I'm going to gift 5 Boy Green Coffee Club memberships right now. Bingo, bango. There are 5 new members, baby, to the Boy Green Coffee Club. So let's do it. I want to give back to the fans. So here we go. I have gifted it myself. And here you go. Paul Boy Green gifting 5 memberships. So let's celebrate, baby, and let's do it again. We are 85 members away, but I now need to update that to 80 members away from Phil getting his gosh darn emoji, baby. So we're now 5 or 5 more or less. That doesn't make any sense. Anywho, 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Let's welcome those individuals to the show. Shout out to Sweet Baby Jesus. Welcome to the show. Red John, Racing Jason, Florida Jet Fan, Mr. Lamborghini Leglock. That's specific. Hey. We appreciate you. You're all now members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. The phone lines are now open. Terrence Hill jumping in the fray. Okay, here we go, baby. Let's make it rain. Oh, yeah, baby. Here we go. The underrated darkness. Well, boy, haven't we been in the last couple of weeks. Thank you, Terrence Hill, for gifting that membership. And the underrated darkness now getting a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. We are now 79 members away. Let's keep chipping away, baby. And the phone lines are now open. That is the pinned comment on YouTube if you'd like to call into the show. Whether you've done it before or you'd like to do it for the very first time, feel free to do so. You guys can do that. That is the pinned comment on YouTube. We have over 300 people in the room. If you guys would like to call into the show and you're on Facebook or Twitter, you have to hop on over to YouTube for that to happen. And more memberships reigning. Our number 1 Austrian Jet fan now jumping in the room. All right, Greg Ginta. You are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. I love it when we can make it rain, baby. We're now 78 members away from Phil getting his emoji. Phil, a great supporter of the show and a great reason why the show is what it is today with everything that it's transformed into. So Phil is long overdue, baby, for that as well. Without further ado, Wudi, let's jump over to the phone lines. We got Badshaw here on the program. What's up, brother?
My guy.
What's up? Woody, Rocky. What y'all doing?
There we go. We're doing great. What a fun show it's been so far. I can't believe DJ's picking the Jets tonight. That surprised me.
So is the what's the guy that you're wearing? Bluey? Is that Bluey?
Yeah, this is actually Bluey's dad. This is his name's Bandit. It's Bluey's dad. Yes.
So for all the Super Boy Green daily shows, are you going to be wearing that from now on?
I wonder how many of these Boy Green daily super shirts, because like all the moons and stars had to align. Like there had to be, well, actually this is the last Thursday night football game of the year, so I guess not. So I guess this is the last one, unless, of course the Jets could be flexed into Thursday night football. Who wouldn't flex a currently 2-6 football team? So you know what? Maybe never say never. We could get a future Boy Green daily super show, but right now it appears unlikely that is going to happen. But I'm more than willing to bandit it up if this gives us the right juices for tonight's festivities. I may never take this thing off.
I got you. Well, are y'all going to be taking the kids trick or treating tonight, or?
I am. So it kind of worked out. So, I normally don't break the fourth wall here, but the only reason that we did an audible at the line of scrimmage to change the show to what it was today is DJ reached out to me and he had some, we'll just call it ESPN calls that said, hey, DJ, we actually need you when you were originally going to join the show at 3:00, our show. It said, we actually need you for something here at ESPN. And he went like, Paul, can we switch something? I'm like, oh, geez. Okay. So we tried to figure out all these times, and he said, and then ultimately it landed on 8 a.m. And then I reached out to Woody. I'm like, what the hell do you want to do here? So let's just combine the show. So it opened up my trick-or-treating schedule, which is good. As a father now of 1, soon to be 2, I will be doing the trick-or-treating stuff early. And not that I don't know. I'm going to be honest. Woody maybe is a better person here because I think he's had his kids a little bit longer than mine. Is that I don't really know the trick or treating schedule yet. I don't really understand. When I was trick or treating, I went out at night. I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm prancing on the town. But I imagine children are much earlier. So I'm trying to figure out the right time. So maybe it's not really early. Maybe it's normal kid time. I have no idea. But anywho, I will be taking them out before Thursday Night Football tonight. Yes.
Awesome. One of the most randomest Halloween costumes I ever was my dad wanted me to be Terry Bradshaw for, since my last name's Bradshaw, he wanted me to be Terry Bradshaw. Well, they were out of Terry Bradshaw jerseys when I was a kid, so I had to be Phil Simms, and that's just like the most random ass like guy that I had to be for Halloween one year, and I was pissed because my cousin got to be Batman, and I wanted to be Batman. I was like, damn it, I got to be Phil Simms.
Let me just ask you, Bradshaw, if you would have done the Terry Bradshaw, would your dad have shaved your head, the top of your head bald to make sure that you had the hair on the sides, but the top would have been bald for the likeness of, Terry Bradshaw?
Well, I actually had a mullet back then.
Oh,
believe it or not, I know I'm from Arkansas, so the mullet was strong back then. That's how you were really classy if you had a mullet back in the day. So,
hey, business up front, party in the back. Any chance of that coming back?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I can pull that off anymore. I rocked it back then, but the ladies loved it back then. But
hey now, but yeah, you're a got man. You've been
the market.
Yeah, your Pokeball has been caught. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and we've got to pay homage to Terry. I know your dad probably hates Terry, but
yeah, he's so funny. I love the Fox pregame shows for people. There's a lot of pregame shows out there. My one I've watched with my dad and family since I was young all the way till now is Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long and Jimmy Johnson and Michael Strahan and Kurt Menefee and all those guys and Jay Glazer. I love that pregame show. It's my favorite one, even though the Jets for a long time, because Fox was NFC, CBS was AFC, that never normally had any Jet connection, but I still watched it and then tuned in last second so I could jump over to wherever the Jets game was. So yeah, that's my favorite pregame show. I love Terry.
Well, you know where Bradshaw came from, right?
Yeah, Louisiana, right?
Well, I'm talking about the name Bradshaw.
Oh no.
So have y'all ever heard of the Choctaw Indians, the tribe?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, the most badass warriors out of the Choctaw tribe were called the Bradshawkataws.
What?
And they were like, hey, we want to pillage, we want to rape, we want to murder, we want to do all that bad stuff. We were warriors, man. We were warriors. So I come from a warrior tribe. Terry comes from a warrior tribe. We're just a bunch of killers. It's in our blood. It's in our blood.
Okay. All right.
Terry murdered and killed all those Cowboy Super Bowl teams. That's how that all went down, buddy. But anyway, enough about Bradshaws. So I'm thinking, I think Johnny Boy said this the other day.
Okay.
It's one of those things with our season to where if we were to lose tonight, I mean, I think, wouldn't we somehow still be in the playoff race?
We would not be mathematically eliminated. To be honest, it would take a while, unless you're like 0-12. Like it really takes a long time to be.
Wouldn't it be two more losses, like 0-8, or sorry, 2-8?
No, probably even still, because like in theory, the Jets, think about it. The Jets could win them all and be 9-8. I understand that would be unlikely, but no, like a 9-win team could get in. So I'm just saying it's very hard. That's why we have to wait forever for teams to be mathematically eliminated. Outside of a team being like 0-12, you're like, okay, they're mathematically eliminated by the analytics numbers. It takes a long time for a team. So even if the Jets lost this one and another one, it would take a while. They'd have to probably, I would imagine, drop to maybe so what were they, 2-6 now? So 3 more straight losses, maybe when they have 9 and the best it could be is 8-9 maybe, or the one more loss after that where they're a double-digit loss team. That would probably be it. So long story short, that's why I think there's all this chutzpah that Connor Hughes and others have talked about, that if the Jets win tonight, and 3-6 is still incredibly ugly for obvious reasons. But you could start to say, wow, if they go on one of these kind of Aaron Rodgers runs and you're somewhere in the ballpark, a 10-7 or this team or that, wow, they could do it. But again, in the middle of this 5-game losing streak, it's hard to see that many wins. For me, I want to start with 1. And I want to make this clear that as much as we've talked about some of this draft stuff and quarterback this and that, because I felt like we had to for a moment, I'm not rooting for this team to lose. I don't care about the draft from that perspective. I don't want the Jets or 2-6. I don't want the Jets to be 2-15. We've seen enough losing. I want to see wins. I'm rooting for wins. I'm going to be rooting as hard as I can. After Halloween's over, I'm jumping out of the bandit costume and I'm going to my Aaron Rodgers stealth black jersey. And yes, someone asked earlier, they are wearing all black tonight. They already confirmed that for the Halloween game. But yeah, I'm switching over and I am ready. I'm going to be absolutely pounding the table for the team to win. So I'm nowhere near any of that tanking nonsense. I want this team to win and we'll figure out wherever they end up. Are they going to the playoffs and all this other stuff? Who knows? But let's just one win at a time and let's just see where we're at. So I will be rooting hard.
That's kind of how I feel. And I just think it would be so easy for us to lose tonight and the season be over. And the Jets aren't going to do that. They're going to make this an emotional train wreck where it's like, we're going to get false hope. I feel like we're going to start winning a bunch. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think we win this one tonight just because everybody thinks we won't. But I completely see both sides of it. It doesn't look like we're going to win, but there's something that feels like we're going to at the same time.
Okay.
But
I picked them too tonight, Bad Shot. So we'll see.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. I know you got other callers. Wudi, I love it when you're on, bud. I just want to tell you that, man. Love seeing you on here, man.
I appreciate that big time. I will not lie. The story you just told about Phil Simms wanted to be Batman, I'm going to be thinking about that all day. I literally had to wipe away tears from my eyes.
That was funny.
Mr. Bradshaw, always a pleasure. Doing these shows, conversing with you in the comments, and I hope you have a fantastic Halloween, my man.
And I would just say,
Phil Simms today.
Yeah. I will never look at Phil Simms the same ever again. So thank you for that, Badshaw. I appreciate that. You have a great day, man.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. There he is. Badshaw joining us here on the show. And yeah, what a hilarious story about Terry Bradshaw and Phil Simms and his dad forcing him to wear a costume. And he's like, son of a, right. Imagine a kid like going around, oh, pirate, oh, an astronaut. Who are you? Phil Simms, Giants quarterback. and I remember, I think Bradshaw said he's like in Arkansas. Now, I don't know if he was born and raised in Arkansas, but like that would be extra. Like, why in the hell are you Phil Simms in Arkansas? What are you doing, man? Like, if there was some coming of age story, right? Like Aaron Rodgers is a California kid, right? You dressed up as Aaron Rodgers as a kid, and you're like, oh, California, okay, that's where you live. Like, okay, I could kind of see. Like Phil Simms in Arkansas, what the hell?
Yeah, in Arkansas.
Wow, okay. Anywho,
I was Batman. I was Batman my first 9 years of life.
Oh, so. you did the copy paste? Okay.
I'm one of those. Yeah. Well, I mean, as he'd been updating his suit, I would update mine. It's
I see.
I'm not the same size.
I guess that makes sense. That's a good point, right? Like, I'm Batman. Hey, by the way, just because we have people kind of coming in and out, Wudi, we have 400 plus people in the room now. Repeat your score prediction for Jets Texans, and we'll also go back to the phone lines here in a second. But just for people that are kind of coming in and out, repeat your prediction for tonight.
31-21 Texans. I'm way less confident in that though than I am in the fact that Joe Mixon is having 100 yards and a touchdown score. Like that is literally parlay of the day from James Wudi, right? Just Mixon 100 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe. So the Joe Mixon thing, I'll give my score prediction. By the way, it was Jets win 26-19. But my Texans thing is like, damn, if they haven't been able to stop the run all year long, why Joe Mixon coming buck wild, kicking ass as he's done this season, all of a sudden, how would he be good to go and doing his North stuff? To me, that makes no sense. Like, I agree. I think Joe Mixon is going to run all over the Jets because they've done nothing to prove that they can stop another team. Austrian Jet fan saying 23-20 Jets. Appreciate that from him. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. It looks like we have someone. I was hoping that I'm wearing this, right? Like you don't go to a party and you're like, oh, I'm the only one who dressed up. That's kind of weird. Like no one else is dressed
I did dress up. What are you talking about? I'm Jamal Adams.
Right. Yeah, right. That's like me when I'm like, oh, Paul, what are you? I'm like, oh, I'm a worker employee at the station. They're like, oh, I see. Like, the costume's fine, but it's not like, like me. I'm a dog. I'm Blue Gila. You're a guy wearing a jersey, man. I've done that costume before. And it's just there's just not a lot of thought there. That I'm just going to be honest. That's just. But anywho, the fact of the matter is, our next caller I see is in full regalia, so I am no longer by myself. Let's go to Johnny Boy, but it's not Johnny Boy on camera. What
the Jets
is up?
are gonna win today.
Yeah, they are.
Jets, Jets.
Okay, what are you?
I'm Chloe from Bluey.
Oh, see, Bluey. We double Blueyed. Look at that. Chloe, awesome. That's great. Yeah. You excited for Halloween?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
She
go.
saw
What's up,
you.
Johnny?
She got super hyped because my other kids are gonna be dressed
We
as
lost
a
Johnny. You got super.
Am I?
Oh, wait. Do we got you back, Johnny? Go. Sorry.
Am I good?
Yes, we got you back. You froze up there. We got you back.
Yeah, they're all dressing up as Bluey, man. Unfortunately, I got our Jets getting their asses whooped 34-17 by the Texans. Joe Mixon is showing no mercy. He is going to sweep the leg.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad that your daughter has more hope and faith in this team than you do, you and Wudi, because you're non-believers. But me and my pal Chloe over there, okay? Chloe and Bandit here, we're riding the Bluey train to a Jets dub, okay?
We'll see, man. All right, brother. Appreciate you guys, man. Woody, always a pleasure. BG, go Bandit.
There we go. By the way, I will be on to 411 tomorrow evening, celebrating, of course, a Jets win and their return to the playoff run, obviously. But I will, regardless of whether they win or lose, I will be on to 411 tomorrow night with Uncle Tio and Johnny Boy, which I'm looking forward to. That should be a doozy. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. NY Jets FL graces us with his presence. What's up, pal? Oh, what are you dressed up? What are you? A hopeful Jets fan?
Just a regular Jets fan today, unfortunately.
Regular Jets fan, huh?
I gotta do 9 to 5. My kid's gonna be 17 next week. She's done with trick or treating.
Wait, how old are they?
I have a daughter 17 next week. That's all I have is one.
That's not too late. That's still Oh, that's too late.
These kids are nowadays are a little finicky.
What's the age? Real quick, what's the age of too late? Because again, I don't know this. This is kind of really my first real run here. Because my daughter was too young last year. When do they stop trick or treating?
Well, one of my better friend's son hasn't trick or treated in 2 years. I think it depends on the person and the friend group they're in. You know what I mean? That's kind of where they're at. But just a couple thoughts on Halloween. Sorry, I'm driving over railroad tracks here.
Yeah, go ahead.
My thought would be start late afternoon because you may knock on some doors and people are working, right?
Okay.
And
so what time do you have to start?
Well, it gets dark there. Oh, the clocks haven't turned back. I'm thinking like 4-ish.
Okay.
Kids will be get the kids home from school. They'll be all excited, and then they start going out little by little. And at least you won't go to people's houses or places where they're working. You won't get a lot of empty knocks.
Sure.
And then by the time dark, you don't want to get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
So it's that soft part in between. Okay. Yeah.
And probably your daughter will be a little cranky by then and tired, so you may have to give her some chocolate just to pump her up a little.
Oh, there you go.
Get through it.
Let's go. Second half.
And you too. Also, you get the benefits of that, Paul.
Okay,
that's
great.
100%.
Yeah. Excellent. I love the perks. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. On Badshaw, I would think Brian Bosworth would have been appropriate.
Ooh,
with the mullet. And then maybe I think he went to Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. So that would have been like a Midwestern
I can't remember.
thing. I think he was an Oklahoma guy. But I thought that'd be interesting. But he went the Phil Simms route. God, talk about obscure.
Oh yeah, born and raised. He was born in Oklahoma City. Went to Oklahoma. Yeah, he's an Oklahoma boy through and through. The Boz. That would have been a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Boz. Your guest, the Texans gentleman, made me very hopeful because I've seen Anthony Richardson and he's god awful.
Yeah.
So
terrible.
if they barely beat the Colts, anything's
say
possible.
We got a shot.
I know. I know he stunk against the. We play I don't know if we played down to the Patriots. We just seem to play down to people. You know, like the Bills, we were competitive. The Vikings, we were competitive. They're obviously playoff teams. And, you know, we go in the Patriots and we play the same way. I just, so frustrating. But I think we have a shot. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I really don't. I really think, but I think we need to come out and score a lot of points because our defense cannot hold the lead. So let's get out. Let's get out and get Rodgers to throw it. You know, dude, throw it 40 times. Just try to spread them out and score 30. You know, go on some fourth downs. You don't have a kicker anyway. You're gonna trust it. You're gonna right. So extra points are probably, I don't even know if they're any good, or field goals, right? But just score 30. Go ahead.
Do you think we should give the Jets chocolate at halftime, like what you were saying for Halloween, like when they're cranky and all that?
Can't hurt. Can't hurt.
Woody, I would start right now. Okay, I would start now and just feed them the whole day, just to get them going. And when they crash, give them some energy drinks. Whatever they got to do, man. I don't care what it is.
Which again, for anyone who's ever seen Paul Blart in Mall Cop, you know, like he has this like sugar problem, so he like needs to eat it, and then like he was like dead, not dead, but like, you know, he's laying on the ground because he didn't have enough sugar, and then he was able to eat the very disgusting candy on the ground, and he was just and got back up, and you're like, oh, he's back, Paul Blart Mall Cop. So that's it. Jets got to be Paul Blart Mall Cop. Second half, I love it. Yeah.
I don't think anything would surprise me tonight. Either we get blown out or we win. Nothing would shock me. You know,
Agreed.
If we actually play a complete game, right, Woody? If we actually play a complete game for once, where everything works, except obviously the kicker may not work. But if, you know, maybe Sauce Gardner will actually, you know, play to his previous level. One game. Come on, Sauce. One game. Show up. Let's get some turnovers. Go ahead.
No, I just want to add in because Jeff Ulbrich, I don't know if he called them out this week, but like, you know, a media reporter's like, so, because sometimes us in the media, we ask a question because we know what the answer is going to be. So you're like, oh, how would you assess the tackling and physicality of Sauce this year? So one of two things going to happen. He's either going to lie and say, oh, wow, he's been great. What are you talking about? Or he's going to be like, well, I think we can all see that there's been some issues. So someone floated that question to Ulbrich, and he's like, you know, that needs to be better. And then he kind of went on this rant about like some of the things that Sauce hadn't been doing, but you know, I've seen increments of improvement. So there was a little bit there of like Sauce got, you know, kind of called out by like, hey man, publicly by your coach, like, hey man, shit, you haven't been doing it. We all knew it, but like him not doing it. Hopefully that I would imagine if I'm a player and someone called out, which again to me would be the greatest insult. Someone called out my physicality, my toughness, and like said like it's weak. I'm gonna say I get mad at Ulbrich. I'd use it as motivation for myself going into the game. I'm like, oh, I'll show you this, that, or the other, and hopefully that motivates him. You're right.
I would say this should have happened weeks ago with Salah. He's the one who should have called them out. The players that haven't played well should have been called out. And that's probably why Salah's not here, quite honestly. Yeah. You know, if you're not winning and if nothing's changing, you know, how long is the leash, right? But anyway, I won't go there. You guys got things to do. So, like I said, nothing would surprise me tonight. Nothing. We could give up 50 or we could score 50. Seriously.
Yeah.
Have a good one, gentlemen.
I love that. Thank you. And yeah. Oh, baby, and I can't wait to see this. So, okay. I see it. Yeah, so I just want to say this. We got to get back to the phone lines here in a second. But if you were like, man, why would I become a Boy Green Coffee Club member? Why the hell would I give Paul $2.99 a month? Like, why? I hate Paul. Well, even if you do, one reason that everyone right now should do it is for what Brandon Bradshaw just did for he's been a member for 3 months. He just gave his member shout out, which you guys are all eligible for on a month-to-month basis.
Wow.
He said, Paul, I just posted the Phil Sims pick in Discord, and I can't wait till this show is over and after I get to the radio station because I am going to look at that. Because if you join the Boy Green Coffee Club, one of the cool perks, on top of a lot of perks, you get the loyalty badge, you help support the show, is you get access to our Discord channel where all us Boy Green Coffee Club members are all together on basically a social media app that we can all talk, you know, not just on the show. and we share pictures, and we get personal about each other, and we learn about each other. And Badshaw's in there, and he's a lot of fun in there. We've seen a lot of craziness from Bradshaw in the Discord, but I'm looking forward to the Phil Simms pick in Discord. So, folks, join the Board Green Coffee Club, and you can see that crazy picture too of him and the Phil Simms gear. I can't wait to see that. That is going to be a hoot. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here, and I'll be seeing this guy tomorrow night for the 411. He's going to give us the 411. Uncle Tio, you're on the show.
Let's go.
I'm dressed up as an incognito happy Jets fan.
You're selling it well.
We got to do it tonight. I mean, if it's not tonight, when? I mean,
that's a good point.
Next year.
Next year.
Oh, there it is.
Next year, after we clean house and we do this all over again, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
You know, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
I love you guys. You know,
thanks, man.
I love the coffee club. Everybody, shout out. You know, it's been highs and lows. My Yankees lost last night.
Sorry, man.
That you know,
they were up 5-0 too. You not to rub that into your wound
they,
there.
They pretty much just like handed the championship. Here you go, Dodgers. You know, I'm gonna error here and interference there, and I mean
lack of hustle on a play or two.
I thought interference was only in football. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's right. Some ref flags were happening. Yes. What the hell? Yeah,
it's like we went to the videotape and everything, and still didn't go our way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Jets, the Joe Mixon thing I've been saying was an underrated pickup by the Houston Texans since the preseason. Joe Mixon is somebody that I've been rocking with in fantasy for such a long time.
For sure. Yeah.
When he was with the Bengals, because he's so diversive in what he can do. He can block, he can rush, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And he shows up in good spots. He's even good at the goal line. So he's someone that, absolutely. He's someone that when the Texans picked him up, I said, he's going to provide leadership and he's going to provide stability in that backfield that maybe Devin Singletary didn't provide the year before that. So he's one that you got to watch him, man, because I think, the all-purpose yards, it's something that I said before the Vikings game, with the whole situation with Aaron Jones. He's that kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
And he can control scrimmage based on running and catching out of the backfield and just be that X factor that we have not been doing good against in our defense. So that is going to be like the key thing to the game for me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Woody.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, Mixon is quite clearly the key, the biggest threat. The run defense, honestly, like it's obviously been bad, but it's actually I think we actually overinflate how bad it was. Like Jordan Mason killed us, but no one else really. Right? I don't think there's been another 100-yard rusher against the Jets. They did very well against Tony Pollard. They shut down Ramondre Stevenson in week 3. And even just this last week, he had 2 TDs, but his yardage wasn't high. I'm expecting tonight, the tackling that we're talking about with Sauce and everything, I'm thinking Mixon is carrying dudes. You see that? I mean, I know you've been following Mixon. The touchdown last week, he literally had somebody on his back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was good. By the goal line?
Yeah. To the end zone. I think, we might see Sauce just on Mixon's back, just get carried to the end zone one time.
You think Sauce is dealing with an injury that's not being publicized? And the reason why I say that,
I hope so.
Nephew and I have been talking about this. Sauce, when he goes to tackle, is not going into a tackling stance. As somebody who played defensive back in high school, in college, and semi-pro, you go into a tackling stance where you bend your knees and, bend in a certain way to get ready for the tackle. What I see from Sauce, what he's doing is he's approaching for the tackle, and he's not getting into a stance. He's bending at the waist instead of bending his knees and going down into a tackling stance to lower his center of gravity. He's not doing that, and I've seen it pretty much all season. So I don't know if he's dealing with a groin injury. I don't know if he's dealing with a knee injury, but something is going on, and that's I think the reason why the tackling is not happening. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, like I said, it's sort of a joke, but in all seriousness, I hope so, because that would at least provide a rational explanation for what's happening. For a guy to be so good his first 2 years and then to have this drop off, and the drop off specifically of what we're referencing in this particular conversation.
Was a good tackler?
No, but that's what I was going to say is the Michael Nania number. I'll have to look it up on my Twitter account. But in Sauce's first 2 seasons, I believe his missed tackle rate was somewhere in the ballpark of 10% in his first 2 seasons as a first team All Pro, and then this season it's like 24% or something. Like it's an unbelievable, massive jump. So no, did I ever think he was Ronnie Lott as a tackler? No, not necessarily. But it was a little easier to swallow the 11% missed tackle rate in his first 2 years because all this other stuff was elite. So it's easier for me to go, well, like when you have that girlfriend that's got all these red flags, but she's hot or whatever the reason is. And you're like, I can kind of look past these initial issues because of this. But because we're not getting the elite play, we're not getting the interceptions. It's been 32 straight games heading into this one tonight. Now we're going, okay, well, if you're not going to catch a pick, then you got to do all this other shit. Awesome. Oh, you're not? Now it's really harping in. So no, I never thought that Sauce was a dynamic tackler or anything of that nature beforehand, but it certainly seemed to indicate to me that there is something otherworldly going on here, whatever that happens to be.
Well, it's just the surface of a bigger problem. I mean, you play football, that you don't want your cornerbacks making tackles. You don't want people getting into the second level, runners getting into the second level and stuff and having your cornerbacks tackle. So, our defensive backs and our safeties in particular being injured and stuff like that doesn't help the situation where Sauce has to make more tackles. And, consequently, our linebackers not making tackles and, having Sauce having to, move up and make a tackle is just a deeper issue that we're having on our defense. So, in fairness to Sauce in that. Now, not having interceptions, well, that's a different story. And sorry, Sauce, I can't, I can't defend you on that.
That's for sure. All right, Tia, before we get you out of here, give us your prediction. What's Jets Texans tonight? What's happening?
I think it's going to be an ugly game. I'm looking at maybe like a 2017 Texans win. Right. I don't think the Jets are going to pull it out, even though, like I said, this is a costume.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Hey. Look at that.
This is a costume, but, I'm not very optimistic on the Jets winning tonight. Happy Halloween, everybody. Be safe out there.
Yes.
Get all the candy, inspect the candy as parents. If somebody gives you a toothbrush, throw it back at them.
That's great advice, Uncle Tia. We appreciate it, man. And thanks for calling in. All right, the Boy Green Daily Super Show is over. I desperately have to run to the radio station, but Wudi, any final thoughts on this crazy show?
No, it was an absolute blast. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green meets Wudi, DJ Bien-Aime, the calls, Phil Sims. I mean, this was an absolute hoot, an absolute blast. I might actually have more fun just now than actually watching the game tonight. That's very possible. Very possible. But hey, if you guys want to laugh with me all the way to the bank, remember, put in that parlay. Joe Mixon, 100 yards. Joe Mixon, anytime touchdown scorer. Let's get this money.
No doubt about it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, there will be no Boy Green Meets Woody today. You just watch Boy Green Meets Woody. You just watch Boy Green Daily. We will be back, though, for the post-game show 2 hours after the final whistle. No matter what happens, we'll be there late Halloween night. I'll be having candy by me to get me through. There's no question about it, but we're looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Jets, Texans, let's go, and we'll see what happens tonight. God bless everybody. Happy Halloween. Stay safe out there, just like Tio said, and enjoy the Jets, Texans game tonight. We'll see you. Peace.